you, if there was maybe someone that maybe was projected within the top 15 and they slip, who do you think that could be at 21?
That's interesting. Top 15 that could slip, but at the same time doesn't make sense. I could see Phylon slipping, but again, we
Okay.
talked about, actually, you know what? If Phylon slips, I wouldn't be opposed to taking him at 21 because again, I think he has on the ball value and off the ball value. And I really just like his moxie, how he plays. And while he's a little bit thinner frame guard, I think you guys have the defenders to, clean up any mess that he would not be able to make on, or who he wouldn't be able to guard on a defense end. Now he's going to give effort. He was a much better defender his freshman year than his sophomore year, but his usage bumped up, and it asked a lot of him. But I do think he's competitive, and at the same time, if he's your second unit guy, because you say Dennis Jenkins is, or you can play with Dennis Jenkins. Maybe you don't have Sasser anymore. Phylon has plenty of offensive juice, right? And I really envision him to be more of a second unit, like 13 point per game guy than a starter in the NBA. But he's definitely somebody I think that could play alongside Cade. And I think that would also bring Cade's like turnover numbers down as he continues to progress into the superstar that he is. So I think he's somebody that could fall. Other guys, I mean, it's really hard to tell. I know some people are. You may not want to hear this, but some people are low. I'm really high on Dalen Swain, right? I think Dalen
Mhm.
Swain is a lottery pick, but Dalen Swain might be a little too close to Arthur Thompson and Ron Holland.
Yeah.
And I don't think you want to repeat that 3 times because they can't shoot. And Dalen Swain is a better shooter than them, but the jury is still out on him being a knockdown, well, really a shooter in the NBA because he had a huge jump from his freshman year and his sophomore year to his junior year. But he's somebody I don't think he should slip, but other people in the space think that he's going to go in the 20s. And you're talking about 6'7", ball skills, defends, very good athlete. He's almost like, man, it sounds bad. He's almost like what you want Ron Holland to be. So he's somebody that I would feel comfortable taking if I was to trade at 21 and just saying, you know what, one of these guys is gonna figure it out.
Well, someone's gonna hit. Like we're gonna figure it out eventually. Um, it's funny because like when I ask people about Phylon, I just get a mixed review. Like some people like you, they're extremely high on him. Other people, they're kind of like 50-50 in terms of just like the guards, these point guards in this class. Like, what is it about him that maybe turns some people off in your estimation?
Well, he only weighed in at 176, and you got to think 176 is already on the light end, and he's not like a blur. Like a
Yeah.
lot of his game is just I'm crafty. I change speeds very well, but I'm not fast. And like if you look at another former Detroit, it seems like he's played for every team in the league. But Dennis Schroeder is
Yeah.
around that same weight class, but his first step is very good. Whereas Phylon is just more so methodical. He's not slow, but we just watched the finals. Like Jalen Brunson doesn't beat anybody in the foot race. He just kind of wheels his way to where he needs to be. But again, there's a huge weight difference between Jalen Brunson and LeBaron Phylon. I have Phylon, I think, at like 15 on the board. But
Mhm.
like when I did my last podcast, I had 15 and 15 to 20 to me can go kind of like either way. It's just like, okay, who do you like the most? I don't think there's a huge gap between those guys. But Phylon is really hard to. You can't ignore the improvements that he made year over year from a freshman year to a sophomore year. I believe he shot like 32% on jumpers as a freshman, and he jumped that number to 40% as a sophomore. And when you watch the tape, he's not just shooting, catch and shoot shots. It's step backs, it's off the dribble, it's isolation, it's a little bit of everything. So he just weighs 175 and he's a below the rim athlete.
Yeah, I mean, like out of the guards, like he's one. I was like, I don't think he's gonna be in range, but to your point, he might slip. There's always someone in this draft that always slips every year. Like last year, I was really surprised Danny Wolf slipped all the way down. Like a lot of people thought he was gonna be a lottery pick, but he slips. Daniel Slade, man, like that to me, I think would crash. Like the whole city of Detroit would crash out. Like I'm just telling you right now. Like you already got two guys that are really good defenders, but they can't
Mhm.
shoot. But hey, who knows? Like maybe Ron Holland is involved in a Trey Murphy deal, and you're looking for another defender. Maybe it does kind of check a box. Do you kind of think like the shooting projection that he had at Texas is sustainable if he's not getting that same type of usage?
That's the interesting point, but he was an 81% foul shooter.
Okay.
So he has really good touch. When you watch him play and he's getting to his spots and he's getting to the paint, when he can't get all the way to the basket or it's clogged up, he shoots floaters. Like those are signs of good touch. Really, the issue is he just has like a slight hitch in his jumper. And that, sometimes it's as much as how good does it look versus how efficient you are. Now, again, we'll take 34% from three and 80% free throw shooting, which means you should be able to turn into a league average shooter. But we know that the Pistons like their athletes,
Mm-hmm.
and he's an athlete, and he has, I think Asar has ball skills, but that's not what you ask him to do. I think he has more on ball skills than Ron Holland, and the playmaking is there. It's like if you can get him to shoot 30. I mean, like what's the Radford? I'm drawing a blank. Went to Radford. He shot 35% from three off the
mhm.
bench for Detroit, and he had never had the reputation to be
Oh, Javante Green.
Devontae Green, exactly. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Devontae Green was a really good shooter this year. You know, if I'm the Pistons and I'm like, you know what, we won 60 games and we basically not really played in the phone booth, but we were a bottom 5 3-point shooting team last year. We're gonna defend. They still had a top 10 offense, even though they didn't make a lot of threes. And if you say, you know what, we're gonna roll out Cade, I mean, you have to play Duncan Robinson. He was really your second best player, offensive player in the playoffs, but Cade, Duncan Robinson, and then we'll figure out, and we have a rotation of like athletes. I mean, you can get there. I understand the concerns for Pistons fans with Swain because the jury is still out on him as a shooter, but he's a lot cheaper. I'm telling you, a lot cheaper than Trey Murphy, a lot cheaper than Austin Reeves.